Hello, folks, and welcome to a new game for us. This is called Sim Airport. I have to be honest, I've played this game probably hundreds of hours. I absolutely love this game. It gets a little repetitive. It's a very slow build for some of the stuff, but if you like airplanes and how stuff works, this is a fun game to just play around with and see what you can do. So we're going to start off with a new game here. We're going to go with a medium-sized map, but I don't think we can change that unless we're in sandbox mode. There's a funding amount and all that. You have grants. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's scenarios that you can load from the Steam Workshop. For whatever reason, the game creators haven't given us any scenarios to go through, which I would enjoy. But let's go through and start a game off here and see what we have. And then we'll kind of get into what this game is. So you can see it fades in there. And we have all of these things. Let's get to that real fast. Ooh, Sim Airport. Beautiful. All right, I got it. So if we go into our grants here, they open up and you have to kind of complete them in order. So tier 1, we have to unlock that. We get $5,000 up front and then a $12,000 reward total. And they escalate from there along with airline services, investments, all kinds of stuff. But let's take a look at the game overall here and then we'll dive into it. Essentially, what's going to happen here is we have a road, and this is a railway line, this lighter one over here. The road's going to allow people to get dropped off and then get picked up. Cool. And then people are going to come in and have to go through the various areas. As we zoom in here, sorry, the zooming on this is very quick. You have these little zones here for picking up and dropping off people. There's a ticketing area, you have bathrooms, baggage claim, a security area, and then that. And then on the right-hand side here, we have a whole bunch of things or filters to help us out. So we can get the overlay of any information that we're giving our guest, an environmental overlay. We don't have any PA systems yet. We'll get there eventually. Secure areas, so you can see that this whole area is secure, and all of your plane gates, like this is gate A1, it's a small gate, they all need to be in secure areas or your airport stops functioning and you lose lots of money. Then we can display different sectors. If you've ever played Prison Architect, it's very similar in that, except instead of building a prison, we're building an airport. Again, I really like this game. It's a lot of fun. I didn't even know we had a staff schedules overlay. Okay, cool. But let's go in. The game is actually updated and changed a bit since the last time I played it, so I kind of want to dive back in and see exactly what's going on with all of this. But before we do anything, we need to take a look at our staff down here on the bottom left. And we have to take a look. We only have 2 construction workers right now. We're going to need more. If you have more, it just moves things along a little faster. And I'll explain why I'm doing what I'm doing here in just a little bit. The first thing we need to do, we need to go into our build menu and we need to get an air traffic control tower. Without an air traffic control tower, you cannot have more than 10 flights a day. So we're just going to search ATC because that's what it's in there as. And then we're going to place it wherever we can fit it. I don't know where exactly I want to put that right now. Let's just slap it. Actually, let's slap it all the way down here. So it's out of the way. Doesn't matter. Then we'll right click. You can see it's the grid system just like Prison Architect. They'll build it up and they bring deliveries and drop off all stuff. It's fun. So we have that. Nothing too big of a deal with that. We can definitely... The game kind of prompts you to build another gate there. So we're going to go into construction or objects. Objects. We're going to find the smallest, cheapest gate that's not remote. You can actually have buses drop people off at plane gates. If you've ever experienced that, it's an interesting experience. It's not something I've done outside of Europe, but it was fun. So we get all that stuff. We have to have a door to the outside, so we'll do that. And then every gate requires a booth or a gate agent desk, as they call it here. And we're just going to place 2 of them. The more of those you have, the faster that stuff takes place, which means your planes can leave closer to on time. So I'm just going to put those there for right now, and we'll do all of that. And what else do we need to do? Oh, we need to upgrade the runway. So if you click on the runway, we can make it longer. I'm not going to do that right now because we honestly can't afford it. We're going to upgrade here. We have a runway ILS, which is basically an instrumentation landing system, I believe is what it is. Allows them to land with instruments and in bad weather helps out. We have the PAPI, which from my understanding is kind of like on an aircraft carrier where you can kind of tell if you're up or down, left or right, and the lights will pop up. I think that's what it is, but I'm not really positive. And then runway lights overall let your airport operate at nighttime. So we have that. I'm happy with that setup. Let's go in and again, we haven't actually built anything. We've been in pause this whole time, but let's go in and see what flight management looks like. And in here, this menu, what it's going to do is going to give you kind of a setup of all of the flights. So these are all the different airlines on the first column there. They have a rating with you. It's not their rating, it's their rating as far as you're concerned. And we actually have some locked ones that we can't get because they have there. You can see you get bonuses, and the higher quality airlines pay more, but they also don't put up as many problems. So if you have a lot of delayed flights, they'll cancel your flights and you won't get paid. And then in here we have the different times. So that's early morning. That's kind of like overnight flights, red eyes. This is morning flights. Then we have afternoon flights, and finally nighttime flights. You can see none are offered because we can't afford it. When you click on one of these, so let's go to the Pacific Airlines. They're offering one flight in the morning. When I click on that, we can see that it is a Beechcraft 1900D, and that's pretty much all they're throwing our way, except for the A320, which is kind of like the 737. But we just can't accept it right now because we can't accept nighttime flights. If we hover over the aircraft types, if we don't know anything about them, we can see that we have a size small, and it's a 150 passenger max. So they have a gate requirement, they have a runway length requirement, and then as the planes increase, so do their max number of passengers. And going back over here, this is a 19 passenger one. Probably not a good one to accept because we make money in this game by having flights land and having people. We can charge per person or for the landing, and per person makes you way more money. So we have an A320. We're going to accept that one, and you can see that we have that contract accepted, and we got our $3,000 raise. And when it shows up, we can see new flights here that need to be put on this board somewhere. So right now, gate A1 is the only one functioning. So we're going to put it in there to go at 6 a.m. and it'll have a 2-hour layover duration. So it'll be on the ground for 2 hours and then take back off. We can support one more morning flight. Let's see what Starflight has for us. Starflight wants to give us an E120 or 195. So Embraer Air 195. It has 90 passengers. It's not as good as their other ones, but like a 707, we don't have a 150 meter runway, so it's not going to help us. And then a 767, we don't have that either. We can see 250 passengers. It's a big step up from these other ones. But we'll take it because they have some other interesting flights that may help us out down the road. So building a good relationship with some of these companies is a good way to start. And then we're going to just go in and see what our afternoons. We have a 737 and a 737. I'll accept both of those. And you may be asking why, when I drag this on, I left this hour gap here. That's because if this flight is late leaving, this plane has nowhere to go right now. We have nowhere to put it. We don't have another gate that actually exists. So if we were to put more than that in there, it's going to cause that plane to not be able to land, and potentially other planes as well. Because if you get cascading problems in this game, it's a pain in the butt. So we've accepted 4 flights so far. I want to unpause it, and we're going to speed the game up. This is the fastest this game goes. So you can see it's still not all that fast, but we have our security people in place. There are needs for each of the buildings. And right now I'm just worried that we get the main things built. One of the annoying things about this game is with the initial setup. I'll leave a lot of my criticisms of this game, or things I think could be improved, till later. Because it's a very fun game, but there are some things that can be improved to make it just far richer and more fun. I don't care if it's DLC or whatever, but I have some ideas. But as far as the initial setup here, this area here is a hot mess. It needs to be modified by you, which I think it's done that way on purpose, so you can kind of make it your own. And I'll show you what I think is the best setup here. But one of the big things that annoys me is when your maintenance crew or your builder crew has to go to somewhere on the other side of the secured fence. If you don't build a gate there that allows them to securely go through, they have to go in the doors, out of the other doors, and all the way around. So it's a big waste of time when all of the things they need are right there. So I'm going to go into there. I'm going to look for a gate, and we're going to find an outdoor gate, but it allows for things to be put in where they're supposed to be. So I'll hit R to rotate, and we're just going to place that right there for right now, and then we can get building. Now we'll get our air traffic control tower. You can see it gives you a percentage of everything that's happening there. And we continue to get some more deliveries because they're going out to get ready to build this. They deliver the boxes, and then somebody builds it. Just like I'm going to compare this game a lot to a lot of the top-down games, which Prison Architect I think is inarguably the most popular. Yeah, there's a lot out there that can be taken care of. But we take a look here. We have our B1, so I'm going to pause the game again here, and we're going to go try to get some more flights. So Pacific, what do you have for us? Nope, no Beechcraft. Sorry. But we also, you can see nighttime flights now popped up. So WestJet had, what is that? That's this guy here, the Bombardier Dash 8. I don't want that right now. Aero time, you have a nighttime of 7:37. Heck yeah. And then we'll take the Ember Air. That's fine. And I like to have these kind of offset a little bit. So this one's going to be an hour offset so that we're always having a plane on the ground, but we're also not stressing out the ground crew once we get to that level of stuff. Let's go back to Pacific Air. We can take that A320. That's fine. I'll happily take that. And then otherwise, let's see. We need another afternoon flight. Is Juno? Juno can do it for us. This airport is also not going to operate like a traditional airport for a long time. One other thing, when you're dragging these on, you can go into another one as long as part or the beginning of it is in the highlighted time zone. It will work. So it's not a big deal to go over. It just means that you can't have stuff overlap there. So we need some morning stuff. Union Air, what do you got? A320 in the morning? Heck yeah. That's what we need. So we'll drag that guy on there. Again, for a beginning airport, I like to offset these things, especially because we have one runway and there's potential areas where we can have some concerns. So we're just going to leave it as is. No Union Air, Starflight, 7:37 afternoon. Yeah, we can take that. Oh, no, we can't. Oh, no. Okay. So this is the problem if you're dumb like I am. You can cancel a flight. So all you have to do is right-click on them, and you can cancel it, but it charges you a hefty fee. So what I think I'm going to do instead is just offset these guys here by like a little bit of time and try to squeeze in one more. And I might actually just move all of these. Oh, not that one. I might move any of these overlapping flights so they're only offset by a little bit of time, just because I like how it looks visually better. But that's a personal choice there. We can see we have this other one, Learyville Air. All they fly is small planes. It's good if you want to try to get a lot of flights in real fast, but I don't like them. Atlantic International, you have a nighttime flight that I can absolutely take. Yeah, you don't have any morning flights. Okay. So we can take one more nighttime flight with our current setup here. And then we can take one more morning, one more nighttime. Okay. So nighttime Aerostar. Yep, there it is. And drag that one over to there. Cool. All right, and then we just need to find a morning flight. And you can always cancel flights down the road if you want to. Again, you get charged a fee, but I'm going to keep that open because more flights will pop up as we move on here. So you can see we are missing some staff to complete. The reason for that is that we went in and we added on 3 gate agent desks. So now we have to hire 3 more gate agents. They're just classified as staff, and you can automatically select. There's a setting where you can just turn it on where auto hire the correct number of people, which is invaluable. All right, next steps. What I think this area lacks a lot of is there's not a lot of space for security here. And one of the reasons for that is there's all these bathrooms in the way. So the first thing I almost always do when I'm building the actual airport of this, like the terminal, is I'm going to build this area up here. So I have a bathroom here and there. And then these guys are eventually going to get relocated down, and the security area is going to get expanded here and also up there. So that's kind of how I almost always approach the beginning part of this game. I'm a creature of habit, so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm not saying it's a good or bad one. Just be aware that foundation building is incredibly expensive in this game. So the structures and some of the infrastructure you build is very, very costly when it comes to this game. But now we have all of our people. We do need to make, they auto-assign. That's a new update they put in there. That wasn't there before. You used to have to assign them all, and it was horrible. All right, so they're quickly building that on. We will get the bathroom set up here in just a moment. Bathrooms are gender-based, and then you also have to have a couple things kind of set up. So you need to have, let's see, we need to have a door here. And then, what's going on? What's the problem? Okay, it requires a secure area, which we have again, but this door, because I placed a door in there and there's no wall there, it wasn't secure. Other thing, while they're finishing up our work there, a lot of the Oh, I lost my train of thought here. I completely forgot what I was doing. Okay, whatever. Let's go in here, and they got it built, so let's go in and find all of the things that we need. Let's see. So, toilet stall. There we go. We'll get those in there. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also need a sink. I like to put these in before all of this, or the other stuff, just because that's just what I usually do, and I think it looks better. Also, when you go through and add the zone, because it doesn't work without a zone, it's easier once all these are in. The game used to, and I don't know if it still does, but if you were building stuff and then you had it, the zone would only exist in this area where nothing's being built. I think that's been changed, but I'm not positive. I really hope it is, because that was kind of a big bummer in this game. But we're going to put in some new floors there. I like to use floor colors to kind of designate different areas, so I have a better idea of what exactly is going on with each thing. Alright, so we have all of that. Let's go and dismantle all of this stuff. You can see how it's giving us an error message, and that's fine. This one's now going to give us an error message. It's not only the if something's in a room that doesn't, it's supposed to have something, it will give you an error message. It will also error out if you don't have the requirements of the room itself. So not only does the objects tell you, the rooms do as well. So we're going to go over into zones. We will do restrooms. We eliminated them. We're going to eliminate this male bathroom, so we're going to put the male restroom there. The female one, we're going to rebuild here. So we'll get sinks placed back in. Then we'll get all our stalls. And I did not mean to remove that wall. And then we are going to put in a door. And then we need a wall. And once you get used to this game, it's very easy to know which objects are what. But you can very easily search them, and it's not really a big deal. Alright. So we have all of that. Now we're going to go through and we're going to dismantle all of this stuff. All of that, because we don't need it. It's not going to be a restroom anymore. And zone-wise, that's going to be a new security area. So it's going to be part of our security office. That all works all nice and well. We'll go back into construction. We're going to dismantle some of these walls. And the reason I'm doing this on purpose for this way, because if I were to remove all this wall and I didn't put the security zone there, it would immediately cause, again, a spot where we have problems. So we're going to add on a bigger security area, and then I can go in back to construction and dismantle this area here. Alright, so our next step here is we need to get our security area better set. Right now it's very small and has one line. Can you imagine going to an airport and having only one line? That sounds like the worst. So we're going to add on a couple of options for lines here. We're going to add on new bag scanners. This is going to cost us a lot of money, but it's worth it in my opinion. Ooh, I didn't know I can go down that far. Cool. Alright, so these actually, we're going to cancel those. And we're in pause mode. If we were not in pause mode and we bought them, they're going to be in the storage area. So let's go back to security. We're going to ID checker stands, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go with our metal detector. You can see there's a little arrow on top of it, pointing on which way it needs to go to function properly. All right, so we're doing all that. I don't like this security setup because it's just not well done, but I like this newer setup. I think it works just fine. And once those guys get built, we'll hire our new staff. There we go. And we're going to disassemble, not follow, we're going to disassemble these objects and get them placed into a better spot. Alright, this is one of the annoying things where you have to tab, and we'll dismantle that. Okay. And now we can just go in and place all that stuff back in. And as we're going through here, one thing to know is the planes, when you we'll go through and have them all landing and stuff or accept contracts, it takes 24 hours for that to take place. So midnight is the switching point for that, and it will go over and switch into something different. All right. The other thing we need to do is we need to make this airport like semi-functional. Right now, there's nowhere to get food. You can go to the bathroom on both sides of security. That's fine. There's nowhere to sit. You can't look at the planes unless you want to look out of the doors. So we need to work on, and there's no information about any of the flights or anything. So we're going to go over to objects, and we're going to get some benches and all that stuff set up. So we're going to use these benches because they look very airporty to me. We'll go in and get those in place. And it'll look something like that. Construction wise, I want to add windows to this entire wall, which will help our green score, because right now we have nothing that looks nice. This whole area is terrible. They don't like when there's exposed floors, so we need to fix that. We have a lot of work to do here to make this airport nice. But let's go over back into objects, and we want to find info. So we have our flight display info there that we can put in. We'll put that over here as well, and over here, and sure, over there. You really cannot have too much information when it comes to this game, and it helps the people navigate around the airport a little better. We'll add some bins in place. What else do we need? We need vending machines. We can't really afford a lot of food-based items yet, but we can afford vending machines. So we'll put those in, and it will be just fine. And we also can get an ATM if we want it. There we go. And then if we go to the decor, we can put some plants. Those are for outside. Let's see. Outdoor. What do I want to put in? There we go. See, the airport is beautiful. Everybody loves our airport. All right, we'll unpause that. That will all get put into place. And then let's go in and put some floors in real fast. I'm going to use black floors for security. And then we're going to find the wood floors. I think they're close to the bottom. And I think it's these. You can always highlight over them if it doesn't cost you any money when you're highlighting. You know you have the right floor type. So we're just going to replace those guys and make sure that they have the right floor type to match the rest of the aesthetic. And we'll get all that done. But you can see our worker guys are real busy. They're very expensive, and that's just fine. Over here, up at the finances, you can see bank loans, which we can apply for a loan, and you get a variable interest rate when you apply. Credit report, we don't have any access to that. Our airport value is okay, and our perfect ops bonus, where you get a bonus for not messing up the airport for the day. That's cool. Over in our ticketing area here, we can get some more ticketing stuff. I don't necessarily want people, but what I want is a ticketing kiosk, because I want to do the automatic ticketing thing so that people can just get in and out if they need to. And when the airport doesn't have enough of those things, it's highly annoying. So look at our airport. It's coming along. It's doing its thing. And I'm very happy with where it's at right now. There's no skip button. There's just the time, so you can't move up. And you get charged for your staff and infrastructure and buses and all that stuff the entirety of the time. Let's go back over here into staff. So we have our staffing people. We have security, workmen, a janitor, let's just hire another one, a chef, and a retail worker. That will come later. We also have admin, which are all currently locked except for a sales rep. And then we can see what our people's schedules are. So what we need to do next is go over into our research area. We have 3 main veins of stuff that we can research. Or, excuse me, 4. We have construction, finance, operations, and then finally technology. We're going to start off with finance and operations because those allow us to do a whole lot more to help ourselves out here. Inside of finances, where it's at. Nope, can't do it there. Not grants. Operations control panel. This is it. So if we go into the little gear setting, the operation controls, we can change the price that it costs for them to per passenger. So right now we're going to get $75 per passenger that lands, plus let's do a $500 landing and then another $500 takeoff. That's a per usage fee. So we'll save those new prices. It will make us less popular with the airlines, but it's also going to allow us to actually make money. If we had it set up the way it was before, we will not make any money in this game. And that's kind of the goal of what we're doing here. So the airport night is moving along. It's kind of a slow burn at the beginning. And as you get to the point where money's not as big of an issue or that you can get loans, the game moves along quite quickly. But I think that's going to wrap up our first episode here of this. I really do love this game. I will play through forever if you guys keep watching. I will keep making stuff for this game. I really, really do like this game a lot. And I'll show you my pain points and all that stuff. But really, the developers have been actively doing stuff for a long time. This game was released a while ago, and it's still getting not regular updates, but it's getting updates. So that's a plus. And I really do dig this game, and we're going to see how we can get into bigger airports, or build a bigger airport with bigger airplanes. We'll have baggage and all that stuff will be going around. It's a lot of fun, and it's cool to see how it all comes together. There's also lots of different ways to play this game, and I might try some of them because I haven't done a lot of the different ways that I think I could do. So we'll see what that is. But folks, thanks for joining me here. We will get our first flight in our next episode, and then we'll take a look and see exactly how this game functions a little bit more. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye-bye.